Hi, I'm Phil Malto, and welcome to Snowmobiler Television. On today's episode, we head to British Columbia to Boulder Mountain for an event called YamaFest. Our test riders will be taking out some trail sleds. Ruski will show us how to move sleds around when they're not on the snow, and we head to the Mealy Mountains of Labrador for Kane's Quest.
STV is sponsored by Yamaha, revs your heart. Kimpex, fueled by fun. And by Skidoo, never stop pushing.
Some of the most fun you can have on a sled is off-trail riding. Today we've got sleds from all 4 OEMs, and we're taking our test riders off the trail, into the powder, into the trees, to see what they think about these off-trail sleds and how they perform.
...2015 Yamaha SR Viper XTX. Pretty much the same as last year, not any major changes. The big addition this year was the tuner skis. From what we felt today, we started out early in the morning with crisp, really hard packed trails, and then as the mornings ended here, the snow's loosened up a bit, but there's zero darting with those tuner skis. Any twitchiness is gone out of them. Any pushing is actually gone too. It's a deeper keel on these tuners versus what's been on previous year Yamahas. So it's a tuner ski designed for that SRV chassis. Works very well. It's a very tame front end, and we think this actually brings out the best in that front end. So we're very happy to see that. It's a good addition on the sled. We were running the sled off trail today a little bit. The Cobra track inch, and it's a 1.352 inch track on lugs on it. It handles the trails excellent, but off trail it digs. It's not going to float like a mountain sled, or maybe like the LE version with the deeper lug track. It's going to sink a little more, but if you want to get off trail and explore through the woods and do a bit of powder riding, I mean, it's a good machine. We're riding the 2015 Skidoo Renegade XRS. It's a new model for this year. Yeah, it's not nothing crazy different about it. There's a lot of nice features though that come on the 2015s. One of the nice features is the 137 by 15 by inch and a half lug track. That's a great track for the trail. If you get off trail playing a bit, it's in a deep enough lug, but on trail it gives you tons of bite without being overbearing. So I think even in low snow conditions, it's not going to be too far off the snow to cause cooling or slider issues. But yeah, tons of traction. You're able to lift the skis if you set the coupling blocks on one, and yeah, so you can adjust that the way you want it, and there's definitely no shortage of suspension and traction on that sled. The biggest new feature on that XRS though is the RIS2 front suspension. We just had them through 3 and 4 foot moguls and stutter bumps and you name it, back and forth, and it's definitely a huge improvement over the previous XP front end that was found on the previous chassis. Yeah, going through the bumps, there's no bump steer, there's no negative feedback through the handlebars. It basically goes exactly where you point it. Doesn't dart you around, and when you hit a bump, it doesn't want to throw you off one way or the other. It just stays tracking exactly straight and true. So definitely a huge improvement. And the spindles look better. Functionally, it's a massive improvement, and it actually looks better and saves a little bit of weight too. So that's kind of a nice bonus.
So Arctic Cat's returning again for 2015 with the 800 Suzuki. Really caught us here at Snowgoer Canada and STV off guard, because we thought Cat would have their SeaTac 800 this year based on the success of the 600, but Arctic is continuing to use the 800 Suzuki for 2015, and if anybody's rode that sled, I still think, even out here today with the new Polaris, that 800 Cat engine, it's like a sewing machine. It just spools up. The throttle response is instantaneous. It just goes like hell. And in the Procross chassis from last year, again, no changes, didn't need to make them. You get the snow ability and the deep snow So if you're running up in the lakes in northern Ontario, you're in the slush, this thing, don't be behind it, because this thing's just going to rooster tail out the back. But, you know, it just goes. Polaris Switchback Axis chassis sled for 2015 from Polaris. If you're bottoming it out, you got 12 position clickers front and back with the Walker Evans, and that really makes a difference, you know. And I tried it on the softest setting to see if I could mimic the R Motion, which is for me the benchmark of suspensions in the chatters, and I have to proclaim that I think Polaris has caught up to the R Motion, and that says a lot in the Rush chassis. We thought they were going to have to do that by going back to a fully coupled suspension, and Polaris has proven us wrong. They've changed the geometry, they've lightened up the rear spring, they've put a longer front torque arm, and this thing, just by geometry, not by coupling, eliminates those chatters. So you get big bump capability and you get chatter bump capability, all in the Pro Ride chassis.
For riders wanting to try out a new sled, finding a place to do that is a bit of a challenge. Yamaha has addressed that with an event they call YamaFest. We head to the mountains to see how Yamaha showcases their new sleds.
This is our annual YamaFest event, and we invite almost any customer to come out and try the new snowmobiles. We've got 6, 7 demos out here, and this year with the Viper Mountain, we're actually turbocharged 6 of them. Only one's non-turbocharged, so we got a 190 horse MPI kit. Customers can come out and try them out. But we just launched the 15s. We got 5 different mountain sleds in the lineup. We got a new LE, spring only. You got to buy them on early deposit. You can't get one. They're the orange and blue ones, so they'll be very, very limited. And then a couple of SEs, and I guess kind of an interesting one is our base 153 with coilover front shocks. Really, really inexpensive. We have a 180 kit from Yamaha. It's one of our partner accessory guys, a supplier source vendor. If you buy it in the spring program, it's a really good deal. In Canada, $2,500, and you've got a 190 MPI turbo kit, not a supercharger. Full warranty from us, as long as it's installed properly from a dealer. And of course, you can go higher horsepower with aftermarket kits. Some guys buying the boosted kits that are 230, 240 horse, which is pretty amazing. They only run an 8 PSI, 9 PSI. And of course, MCX has a bunch of offerings as well to bring you up into 270 horse range. So a really solid platform. But from us with a warranty, 190 horse, they're here all day today. Almost zero lag, so very, very responsive at the bottom. We've been doing some drag racing a little bit on the lakes. And that's funny because the 190 will pull some of the higher horse kits off the line for about 100 yards. And it takes them over 200 yards to kind of catch it and pull past it. So very kind of exceeds expectations for just a little 190 kit. The response has been much even better than we thought. The biggest difference, we thought the turbo would be the highlight, right? The power, and everyone's talking about the engine, the power, but the big conversation is about the handling. How well that little nitro engine handles in that chassis. So you can imagine, you know, Arctic Cat's a really, really good chassis company. That's what they've focused on for 25 years, and they've evolved the chassis to the race program. And Yamaha's primarily an engine company, so the marriage of the two has brought out a machine that's sort of better than the sum of its parts. And we're really happy so far.
This is a great venue for Yamaha to let riders try out the new 2015 MTX sled lineup.
Yeah, you know, this is the undisputed king of mountain snowmobile events for Yamaha snowmobiles. There's not a larger gathering anywhere in the world, I know that. So each and every year we come up to this mountain, Boulder Mountain here in Revelstoke, BC. We got all the new models on the snow. Great host by the Revelstoke Snowmobile Club. It's our 12th annual. We're greatly excited to be here, and we're test riding these new 2015 Yamaha Viper MTX models with turbo kits on them, and we're having a great time.
Randy is happy with the new platform. So what do some of the riders think of this event and the new Viper?
It's an awesome sled. Coming from an older Vector, it's night and day. Just the weight, The power to weight ratio, the feeling, the handling.
I like the Viper. It handles really good compared to the Nitro, I find. It's got great power with a turbo on there, and it's just an overall great sled.
A lot better handling, a little bit more, definitely more horsepower, more responsive. The track alone is awesome, like totally grabs right away.
Oh, the new sled is, you know, so much more flickable. It stands on the track nicer. You steer it with your feet a lot better. Going across the side hill with other tracks going up, you know, the chassis doesn't get as stuttery. You know, it's much more planted. It's just more confidence in the chassis. The motor's super reliable. And also, if you look at the sleds after we've been riding them, they're not packing any snow along with them. They're virtually clean, which is really nice. You know, with the other models, they pack a lot of snow in the track and in the tunnel, but with the heat exchangers forward and the powder-coated rails, no, really, really nice, clean suspension.
Well, I took the 162 Special Edition out for a ride, and I tell you, I really like the sled. It handles well, and the power is absolutely amazing with the turbo. I've ridden the turbo nitros before, and the Viper is so much easier to handle. It's lighter in the front end. It just works. It's an all-around better sled.
I live in Revelstoke, so it's kind of crazy that I don't have a sled, but that's going to change.
An 8-hour layover, a hot meal, and warm bed are what drives these guys to land safely in the parking lot of the Hotel North Checkpoint 2 in Goose Bay. It is certainly a different place this year versus what racers experienced in the previous race in 2012.
Last year's race, we got into a real mile spurt. Starting off in the morning, we had nice weather. Throughout the day, we got a rain come in, melted all our snow in the parking lot. All the racers are leaving on concrete. This year, we had a nice cold snap come through the beginning race. We had a nice little snowfall during the weekend, and racers had their tracks all covered up from when they were scouting, making it look good coming in.
Just past 2 a.m. and riding for over 14 hours, the first into the layover is team number 4, Loveman and Earl. 26 minutes later, team 99, Rich and Malik, steered their Skidoo Skandiks into the compound for second place, with team 29, Nui and Nui, sliding into third place just 4 minutes behind them.
Well, it's cold tonight, and as you can see, I got frostbites all over, and I missed a turn somewhere. Someone told me follow this trail, and I ended up somewhere where there's no trail.
Oh, it's not a problem. It's pretty chilly night, so the frost builds up fairly quick. We said we'd like to be in tent when we came to it. This is our hometown here in Goose Bay, and we're exactly in tent, so we're exactly where we want it to be.
Many hours after the leaders hit the hay for a snooze and arose to head for the south coast, a couple more teams arrived showing some frustration over a long night.
We're not in Kansas anymore, eh?
Contrary to what some may believe, the Canes Quest data isn't what you follow.
I'll tell you, that's exactly what I was thinking last night.
I think once you see them leaving Goose, you're going to see a lot of teams kind of take their time going in over the Mealy Mountains. I know the snow conditions were deep down there. You may see a lot of teams hang back and let other teams break trail and do the old bloodhound trick.
The next stop for racers is on the other side of the Mealy Mountains. This region of Labrador is well known for its incredible scenery that stretches from Goose Bay down to the Labrador Straits. The mountains here stretch upwards of 3,400 feet and are constantly bringing a mix of weather from the sea. Canyons, forest, lakes, and rivers will all be a part of the navigation as teams try to make some good use of daylight and avoid the added challenge of night riding in the mountains. And, out of nowhere, talk about keeners, we came across these folks tucked into the mountains after riding 4 hours to get a front row seat to watch the teams pan by.
We just, I guess, just wanted to see the boys, Labrador boys come up and just wave them on by.
We came across Dwight Loveman stopped, awaiting his Team 4 partner to rejoin him.
It's a nice day. Figured I'd get a tan. No, my buddy lost one of his gas cans back the trail, so he went back. Instead of both of us going back and burning the fuel, he went back by himself. So he should be here in a few minutes. George just seen him, so yeah.
So you're just waiting for your partner?
Just waiting for my partner, yeah.
As nightfall was quickly descending on the big land, once again the trucks are lined up on the highway to provide a pit stop for the boys to get a snack and fuel up before they roll into the depths of the bush to hit Birchie Lake.
Lunch. Breakfast was 5 Hour Energy and Advil.
We're waiting for a team to show up now. They had some mechanical problem. I believe they broke a spring, and they got all that repaired. They're on the way up now. So we're expecting them to be here about half an hour or so, and we're going to gas them up, give them something warm to eat, hopefully, and send them on their way.
Oh, we're still having fun. I won't lie, when I realized that my gas can was gone, I wasn't having fun. I was a little frustrated, but that's gone now. It happens. I've never seen one come on off in my life, but
good so far. Seems some of the leaders are still here, so we made a bit of time, which is surprising because we had issues of our own. We broke a spring back on just outside of Goose Bay, so everything's going good now. We got springs changed. We're going to change the shock, and then we're going to hammer down.
You want the hamburger or fries too?
There's some peanut butter sandwiches. That's the best we can do for you.
Okay.
How's that?
It works.
Drove down Lake Melville about 5 times looking at the mealies, thinking I've always wanted to go there. Got a chance to go there today. I was kind of wishing the day would be over though at 7 o'clock tonight. It's really only just begun.
Yeah, I think that's still going to be the strategy. Basically from here to the north coast and back down to Churchill is going to be, go ahead and watch yourself. Stay on your game plan, and it's going to be survival for there.
Moving a snowmobile when it's not on the snow is always a challenge. The folks at Ruski have a solution.
Hi, my name is Sean. I work for Kimpex. I'm here today to talk to you about the Ruski. The Ruski is a wheel system that mounts on your ski so you can cross the road safely, go to the gas station safely without ruining your carbides. It's a one-hand operation when it's mounted on a sled. You just lift it up, and the Generation 3 has a stopper so the ski doesn't torque when you're riding on it, and you can ride up to 50 kilometers an hour on pavement to go to your destination. When you're leaving the trail to go on pavement or cross pavement to go to the gas station, your ski is going to grab the asphalt and stay there, and your track is just going to spin. With the wheels, you just put the wheels on, and you can cross the road safely or go to your destination. Another advantage of the Ruski is the ease of putting in and taking it out of a trailer or in a garage. Works well on gravel driveway. It's been tested. It works well on asphalt. It works well in the garage. You can move it around. The stopper is there, so it prevents the torque. So once your snowmobile is on the wheels, you can leave it all summer long if you want and move it around your garage as you ease. You don't need to dismantle it. You can just leave it there. Or if you want, you just lift up the ski and it flips up automatically. Also a good feature is once you're engaged and you're going from pavement to deep snow, the wheel does come back automatically, so you don't need to lift up the ski. But if you would like, you can just lift up the ski and the wheel comes back up. The advantage of this product compared to the other wheels out there, you can engage it with 2 feet on the ground. You don't need to use your feet to engage it. It's a 2-hand operation. You lift up the ski, you can use 2 fingers, and it's it's engaged. Generation 3 has a fully sealed compartment filled with grease, so it's a maintenance-free system that you don't need to grease every year compared to the other ones out there. Everything is sealed with a plate and a gasket. So our Ruski from Generation 1 to Generation 3 do not use the OEM ski bolt to mount it on. It's mounted independently, so it's easier to install. Any do-it-yourselfer can install a Ruski in no time. It is very important when you install a Ruski that your ski is on balance. If it is not, if it's leaning forward or leaning back, there's 3 positions to easily adjust it so your ski stays on balance. Some of the benefits of having the wheel is preventing the wear of your ski and the wear of your carbide. It also prevents you from hurting your back, from pulling and pushing your sled to go from and to the trail. It's a good advantage to go get gas. How many of you have went and got gas without wheels and struggled to cross the street?
Yesterday's ride, I hit 10,000 kilometers for this season, and I'm just loving the new XM platform.
STV is sponsored by Ultimax Belts. Performance proven, performance driven. Triton Trailers, the difference is in the details. And by CKX, wear your passion.
On next week's show, our test riders go for a ride on the latest in the 2-up category. Kane's Quest takes us to the south coast of Labrador. And if you're still wearing one of these, you may want to update your winter wardrobe. CKX will show us the latest in this year's winter offerings. We love your feedback, so email us at info@snowmobilertv.com and be sure to visit the STV website for our online videos. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week on the snow.